rock and roll. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm going to keep dropping Fifth Element references until you like it. One of these days, you'll look back and say, you know what? Gene was right.
One day.
One day.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome once again to another razzle-dazzle episode of One Last Take.
Yes.
It's hosted by the one and only Rubizmo, the Gizmo, joined by a despondent PsychoGeno. He was just commiserating about his fantasy losses, how he lost everything this week. And, I had told him, every manager has had weeks like that, where just things don't go your way.
I have never.
In fact, this week in particular was a terrible week for fantasy. I think every team except like two underperformed in our league. It was abysmal all around. There's a lot of players that didn't show up. And we'll see what happens. You know what? I don't want to waste any time. Okay, everyone knows what this is. We're reviewing week 7 already. Are we at week 7 already of the NFL season? It's going quicker than expected, and I want to jump right into it. The first game we want to jump right into is Packers Raiders.
Go Pack, go!
This was a tremendous day. This was a great day for one Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron.
He reestablished himself as that guy.
Whoa. He was never not that guy.
For quite a while there, he was not that guy.
No, never not.
Aaron, I don't know if you can hear it on your side. There's like a popping going on. I'm not reshooting because I've already started. I told you I'm one take Ruben.
One last take.
There's a little popping going on. And I'd like you to get that solved before this is done. I will say, while I have your attention, great job on the last episode of throwing the splash of Patrick Mahomes up on the screen. I mean, I told you not to do it. PsychoGeno said, you're doing great. Do what you feel like.
And that's why he did it.
And it was a tremendous decision. It worked perfectly. The fade in, the fade out. It was one of the best videos we've had so far. So thank you very much for that. Let's fix this popping. Let's get that corrected as soon as we can.
Trust in Aaron and trust in Aaron Rodgers.
A very good point. Aaron and Aaron. It was tremendous. 6 touchdowns. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's nothing to joke at. That won people leagues.
Best quarterback in football.
It's hard to argue. It's
not.
I will argue, and I'll tell you it's Russell Wilson. I don't care about this 1 week performance. I'm talking season long.
He threw a pick. You know what?
We'll get to it.
We should focus.
You know who didn't throw a pick? Aaron Rodgers. He was a tremendous day. He did everything you could possibly want him to do.
Right.
I don't know. You picked the Packers to win. I picked the Packers to win. I picked the Packers to cover the 4.5.
I don't think I did.
You did not. You took Oakland.
I did take
foolishly
Oakland.
took Oakland.
Yeah, I took them, and I was wrong. And you know what? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're happily wrong. I was happily wrong.
I will say this. Darren Waller was great. Darren Waller was tremendous. They couldn't cover him. I mean, he should have had 4 touchdowns.
The boy just got paid. What do you think?
It was nothing short of magnificent from Darren. And I don't know if that's going to continue. I certainly know this. The Packer defense that was vaunted at one point during the year is not that at all. So play everybody anytime against the Packers, because there was at one point Aaron Rodgers was talking about, we got a defense. No, you don't.
Early in the year,
yeah. Anything to take away from your boy Lazard? He wasn't as tremendous as I thought.
I told you he was not my boy last week.
Yeah.
So, no, I have nothing to take because I didn't give you anything to take the last time.
Fair enough. Everyone else is good. When Devontae Adams comes back, though, I wonder.
Will he ever come back?
Please, I have him on a squad. I need him to come back in a hurry and healthy and stronger than ever.
I have him on 2 squads. I don't know if he can help me anymore. I may be at the point of no return.
It's too little too late at this point.
I know who I'm picking up this week. I'll mention that name later.
All right. The next game we had out the box.
So wait.
Right.
1-1 for picks.
Yeah, and 1-0 for the spread.
1-0 for the spread. Ooh,
right.
See, I thought this would be a bad week.
You said while we were making picks, you thought it was a bad week.
I knew.
And I said,
knew then.
There's plenty of time. We were only about 4 picks in.
I knew that. No. But also it translated to fantasy. I knew this was going to be a bad week.
You saw it coming.
Week.
You felt it in the air.
I really did.
Phil Collins felt it in the air, too.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah, it's a great song. I only heard it because of the Miami Heat. Before their games, they would play it, and The Hangover. Those are only 2 times I would.
Mike Tyson laid the smack it down upon him.
Yeah, those are only 2 times I heard. San Francisco, Washington, just like we all thought, the slobber knocker that it would be.
What did we say?
We both picked the Niners to win and Washington to cover. Washington was given 10.5. and they lost by 9.
A couple of weeks ago, you would not have done that. You wouldn't have split picks and spread. But now
I wouldn't have. But it was the right decision. It was a correct decision. I don't learn anything from this game. I don't think there's anything you can truly take from this game. It was so wet. It was such a torrential downpour.
Sloppy.
When your boy Nick Bosa, did that slide at the end of the game.
Yeah, it was fitting.
It was appropriate. It was just they're playing in a pool.
And slip and slide pool.
I will say this. I was proud that Washington held them down as long as they did. Because,
what do you mean?
Well, because Washington isn't a good team, and I could see them struggling to slow down a supposedly dominant Niner team.
Defense. They're known for their defense, not their offense.
Their running game's averaging like 180 yards a game.
You know about that? Breida kind of hurt me.
He hurt himself too. Didn't finish the game, right? And Tevin Coleman got a lion's share of the work as a result. But here's the late breaking news. We still don't have a breaking news drop, but we'll get that one day. The trade, the 49ers pick up Emmanuel Sanders from the Denver Broncos.
When did that happen?
This happened this afternoon. We're at 5:15 West Coast time. This happened maybe 3:30, something like that.
That's why I was on my way. I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah.
So well, give me the details, man.
The details are still coming. The details are still forthcoming. I can only hit you with the big information, which is Emmanuel Sanders is now a San Francisco 49er. The Broncos are also giving them a 5th-round pick to the 49ers. And for the 49ers, who have been desperate, this is a huge pickup for them. Dante Pettis was terrible this entire preseason. I don't trust Goodwin's health. Debo Samuel, only Debo I trust, is on Friday. Mm-hmm. This is a talented player that they need, and it sets up perfectly for when Brady takes over in next year.
Stop it.
I think Emmanuel's value at this point has to go up, right? I mean, he has fallen to number 2 in Denver. He's got to be number 1 with Jimmy GQ, right?
I guess so. I just don't like Jimmy Garoppolo as a quarterback. Why are you smiling?
I don't like the way that you smirked when you said Jimmy Garoppolo. You can call him Jimmy GQ.
No,
you can call him Jimmy G Spot.
I didn't give him a nickname.
You can call him.
I'm not calling him Jimmy G Spot.
You can call him what you want to call him.
Q.
He's undefeated right now.
His team.
Just don't call him a loser.
I don't think he is the reason they're winning. So
he's certainly not standing in the way of wins, and that's part of the problem. That's a really good thing.
It is.
It's funny because last episode I said the Denver Broncos were shopping Emmanuel. I wouldn't have been surprised if he landed with the Patriots, who always are in looks for a nice, talented veteran receiver.
Right.
Patriots did that. They made a move and got their veteran wide receiver.
But we're not there yet.
I'm just saying, I kind of called it. I kind of called it. Emmanuel on the move. I feel like
Emmanuel going to San Francisco.
He has to be better, right?
He was good to start the season in Denver.
And then he lost his spot to Cortland Sutton.
Because the number 1s are guarding Emmanuel, so Sutton's pretty talented.
All right, I'm thinking rest of season, Emmanuel Sanders, a top 24 wide receiver.
I like it. They run a lot of play actions and slants, so he'll get one-on-one, and I like it.
Doesn't hurt Kittle, though, right?
But just like Marquise Goodwin, Dante Pettis, all the running backs for the San Francisco 49ers, Emmanuel Sanders gets hurt all the time.
He's resilient.
He gets hurt.
He'll be fine.
He will miss
I'm
games.
not predicting injury.
I am.
Already.
He will be hurt.
Game 3. Again, guys, normally we would milk it. We would give you a little bit more a breadth of information, but we're on a time crunch today. For one of the few times since starting, we're actually on a time crunch, so we've got to stick to the schedule.
Can we get a tally? I don't know what's going on here.
Right now, we both got that right. I'll give you a total tally at the end. Just know that I've already tallied it up, and I'll give that at the end. Because I
guess I just need to know who did what.
What do you mean? We both picked the Niners to win. We both picked the spread.
Moving forward.
Okay, yes. Okay. Next game, New York, Arizona. We both picked New York to win. I took New York -3. You took Arizona +3.
And
Arizona won.
Exactly.
And I would give you credit for this game. But
oh my gosh.
As the loyal listeners would know, you said clear as day.
What did I say?
You did not care about David Johnson this game.
I
don't care about David Johnson this game. You said Kyler Murray would get his touchdowns this week.
I was wrong.
No touchdowns.
And Kyler burned me. I had started Kyler thinking that, and next thing I know, who was this Chase Edmonds getting 3 what's going on here?
Yes. And the worst part about his performance is that DJ was scheduled to start. Every David Johnson owner saw DJ starting this game, and they got excited. And unfortunately, it came back to bite them, right? I mean,
he was a healthy scratch.
Yeah, he said he couldn't go after like the first first carry. He was like he didn't have it. So Edmonds like, I got you from now on.
Are you serious?
That's how it went. So he was out there and then did not think he had 2 yards and said, it's not happening. I mean, they won 27-21, so they obviously didn't need him. I would be terrified if I was a David Johnson owner from this point out. Absolutely terrified.
I don't know how I would feel because I didn't draft him this year because I remember being mad last year when this would happen. So
the New York Giants got Saquon Barkley back.
Didn't help.
Didn't mean anything. They got Evan Ingram back.
Didn't help.
Well,
oh my God, a goose egg. Oh my God, that hurt. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rhett Ellison caught the touchdown, so a tight end scored against the Cardinals.
Goose egg.
Yeah, it was a bad. No, I don't think he had a goose egg. Depending on the league settings that you're playing.
Standard.
Yeah.
Goose
Okay.
egg.
Well, yes. His one catch for 6 yards didn't really do you any good. I had 0.6. So
are you happy with that?
devastated, in fact. And like I said, the tight ends kill the Cardinals, and unfortunately, it was the other tight end that caught the touchdown. Daniel Jones, DJ Jones, was awful.
Danny Dimes.
He was awful. It was a terrible game for him, as far as I'm concerned. To play against that Cardinal team and play that poorly with all that talent he had around him. I know Sterling Shepard didn't play. I don't care. It's unacceptable. Saquon looked bad. I thought he got hurt again in a moment,
Wait a minute. You don't blame the Giants' defense for not stopping Chase Edmonds?
Should have been a shootout. No, I don't blame the Giants' defense. That defense is terrible. They couldn't stop, a high school squad. I'm not gonna, hold them too accountable for that.
I am.
No, fair enough. But again, New York lost. It's an embarrassing performance. I'm disgusted. Many of the fans in New York should be disgusted. If they're not, they need to be.
I think they've already written off both of their teams, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, right. Next game, Minnesota-Detroit. I took Minnesota to win and cover the 2.5. You took Detroit to win and cover.
I remember that.
They got 2.5, and you said, what?
I remember thinking that, and I'm watching this game, and Kirk is just doing his thing out there.
Yeah.
And my boy Thielen goes down. That was sad.
You promised a Thielen week.
Yeah, he got hurt. He was off to a great start.
Hey, you can predict injuries for Emmanuel. You should have predicted injury for Thielen.
I've never seen Thielen hurt like this.
Turned out not to be a Thielen week whatsoever.
He still got you a touchdown. Diggs did not.
Diggs had a great game. I promised he'd get you 15 PPR points. He had 7 for 142.
I don't think that happens with Thielen. But you know what? The man of the day was starving Marvin Jones. 4 touchdowns on the day. That's got to be embarrassing for a defense. No? You don't think so?
No, I think it's embarrassing for a defender or two.
What do you mean?
If I'm the linebacker, if I'm the defensive lineman, if I'm the safety, I mean, those touchdowns aren't on me. Like, guard your man. If Kobe's cooking you, that's not the center's fault. Like, I don't feel bad. That's on you. Like, sucks that we lost, but you better step up, man. What can you do though? It was a good week. And I'm seeing trends rather where the Detroit Lions in tough matchups go to Marvin Jones, go to their secondary options because Galladay takes double coverage. In easy matchups where they should all thrive, Galladay just kills.
And some of those, at least one was on Xavier Rhodes. So.
I think so, yeah, and he threw his helmet down. He was disgusted at the game, as I recall. I mean,
isn't that something you would look at him and say, man, the Vikings must be losing, and then you say, oh, no, they're winning. Why is he so mad? Oh, because he's getting torched.
That's exactly what it was. He was getting cooked, and he didn't like it. Dalvin Cook, what do you think? What are we doing with Dalvin Cook? I mean,
what do you mean?
142 yards. He had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, so what's up?
You said Christian McCaffrey was the best running back in football.
He is.
I stuttered and said maybe Saquon should be considered. You didn't even mention Dalvin Cook.
We didn't get that far. We didn't say the top 5.
So he's not even in consideration for you.
What? For
as
what?
As the top running back in the NFL after this season. Yeah, he's putting on a tremendous season.
No.
Man, you are a hard grader. 142 and 2 isn't good enough for you.
He's not the guy. Still CMC.
Because you're predicting injury for Cook? Over or under 100 yards for Cook on Thursday against the Washington Redskins in Minnesota.
Over.
I don't know.
Well, no. What about you?
Yeah. Oh, he'll go over. This vaunted Washington defense.
Yeah, defense is bad. That doesn't really mean much.
I'm just saying. I feel like he's a consistent.
CMC is not consistent for you?
CMC feels like he's a product of the system at this point. He's getting a lot of check down passes because he has that kind of quarterback.
Because he's the MVP of the team.
If Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback, there would be less check downs.
Of course.
So he's a product of the system to something. Remember when LT for the Chargers first started? He had like 100 catches his first year with Drew Brees because all they did was dump it off.
What do you mean? So what?
It's like playing with Alex Smith.
You have to catch the ball. You have to be productive with the ball.
Christian McCaffrey's amazing with that. I have no doubt about that. I'm
Okay,
just saying, if you're playing with a quarterback that pushes the ball down the field like Tannehill instead of Mariota, you're going to get less catches. That's all.
So what are you saying? If Dalvin Cook was playing for the Panthers, I'd be saying Dalvin Cook is the best.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think maybe they're all in the same area,
but I always think that besides quarterbacks, most position players are all interchangeable.
Yeah, that is true. That does seem to be true. Next game, Houston-Indy.
Indy.
You had Indy winning, Indy covering,
and you
getting
had?
a point. I went opposite. Houston winning, Houston covering.
This makes up for the Detroit game.
Yeah, it does make up. I said Watson was the MVP, and this was the game for the division.
You know what? I remember you said all of that, and
I said this is it. I said Watson would go Vince Young on USC.
Yeah, you mentioned some old college game that no one cares about. Right.
That's what I said would happen. I got the wrong black quarterback going.
You did
wild.
You did
on the defense.
You did get the wrong black quarterback.
You know what? It was a bad game. It was a bad performance. I think Will Fuller pulling his hammy. Who could have seen that coming? Will Fuller getting hurt.
Another goose egg on my team. So one of those touchdowns, he was robbed to D-Hop, remember?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
On the when he was sacked and they called it in the grass.
They blew the whistle, and
I'm okay with it.
You are?
Yeah, I understand in the parlance of NFL, like when you're watching the game, I was watching it live.
Me too.
I was like, let that go. He clearly wasn't down. He was, guy had him by a foot, and he was standing like Big Ben always does when he's getting tackled on ankle, and he just fired it to D-Hop perfectly. Who got hit and dropped it and picked up. Could have been a fumble.
It was a touchdown.
But as he threw it, he got clobbered. And the right thing to do was to stop the play, because if we're going to have a point where quarterbacks are getting stood up to get drilled, it's going to be a dangerous situation.
But let me ask you this. When you were watching the play unfold, were you thinking he was down, or were you watching it as it happened? Exactly.
I saw it as it happened.
So don't blow the whistle.
I'm just saying, I understand the official doing it. I accept the official's discretion. Mike Carey, the greatest official of all time, because in the Super Bowl against the undefeated Patriots, when Eli Manning was in trouble and was about to go down, he was grabbed all over. Mike Carey was walking in the picture in the frame to blow the whistle to stop it as in the grasp. And he said, I'm going to let this go a couple more seconds just in case. And he let it go, and David Tyree happens, and it was a tremendous play. You see him walk into the play, and then he runs back out of the play because all of a sudden Eli pops. I'm okay leaving it to the official discretion. At that moment, if the official thought it was about to get bad, and he took a hit. So
he always
part of me thinks, you probably should have blown that quicker so he doesn't take that shot. But I'm not going to let the result of the play change the rule, if that makes sense. Because D-Hop could have dropped it.
I just wanted to know if you agreed with the call. And
I'm okay with the call.
I was not.
I would have been okay either way, but he called it. I'm fine with that. Protect the player, especially my MVP this year. my projected MVP.
CMC.
I told you T.Y. Hilton owns the Texans.
I agreed. And I told you we will call him Eugene Hilton from now on.
You did say that, and I immediately disagreed. This is another good game. 6 for 74 and a touchdown. Surprise, surprise, T.Y. Hilton comes through. He wasn't even the best player.
Hilton.
Right. He wasn't. Zach Pascal. Zach Pascal is the guy that everyone is clamoring for right now on the waiver wires. 6 for 106 and 2 touchdowns. I don't think it's sustainable. I don't think Jacoby Brissett is sustainable, so I'm not going to get too excited. But a great game for the Colts. They showed a lot.
Mac was what happened? He left the game early, or I forgot what happened.
I don't recall.
But without Mac being there the entire game, it's another reason to pass the ball. And Eric Ebron, that was a hell of a catch.
Oh, along the back line?
Yes.
Absolutely. One-handed, tiptoe in. I made a lot of fun of him for a lot of the drops he has.
I still don't like him.
And Detroit hates him forever, I'm sure.
Of course, they should.
But he's turned into a really solid tight end at
Red zone tight end.
Red zone tight end. Now, he's a threat. He's absolutely a threat, and he will hit you with a dagger. Coming out of Notre Dame, right? Good for Eric Ebron, He's made something of himself after that.
He can't run routes. All he can do is be useful in the end zone, which is very good for a team. But I don't know, red zone specialist. Is that a thing, like a closer in baseball? You basically only bring a guy out when you're within 20?
Close. An old Gronk, I could see doing that for someone like that. Just a big guy,
just come
Antonio
out there.
Gates type of player.
We're in the red zone. All right, 85, go out there.
Yeah, what are you going to do with him? Next game. Oh, this one had me on pins and needles. My personal and our local Los Angeles Rams traveled to Atlanta. Okay, and I predicted King Godfrey had his crown ship up for stakes. This was the game. I said if he loses it, he loses the King moniker.
Right.
He showed up. He played great
against the Falcons.
That's why I said you got to show up against the Falcons.
You have to.
The most impressive thing of the day was Todd Gurley with a great touchdown catch. I didn't see that coming. That was fantastic. And just all in all, it was a wonderful, wonderful game for the Los Angeles Rams. And I expect this to continue. I want to see a rollover.
What did we say?
We both picked the Rams to win. I picked the Rams to cover the 3. You took Atlanta.
I did. I remember now.
Matt Ryan got hurt late in the game.
Pride was hurt a long time ago.
What happened with Atlanta? What's going on with them? If you're an Atlanta fan, are you the most frustrated fan in the world? More than Cincy and Miami? Because
no.
How is this?
Well, you're saying because they have talent and
aspirations and should have a ring like a couple years ago, like they were at the top of the top with an MVP, and now
you know what? You're right. I can see that because they are pretty upset. They thought they are going to have a promising season, I should say, and now they've traded away Sununu. Sununu's gone to New England. So
stop helping the Patriots.
You think this really helps?
Anytime they're getting a talented wide receiver, it helps. Josh Gordon may or may not be back. Who knows what they're doing with him?
I don't know what's going on with Josh.
All I know is that I hear Brady and Brady's suck-offense constantly say he's never had any help. He never has anybody to throw to. And all I ever see is him getting the best receivers every year, 2 or 3 times.
Is the best receiver.
He might have been the best Falcon. I haven't seen Julio in a long time, it feels like. I need to see him be Julio. He's not doing anything that anyone else couldn't do.
Is the 3rd best receiver on that team. Heck, you can argue 4th with the way that Austin Hooper is balling this year.
What I can argue is that Mohamed Sanu has outplayed Calvin Ridley for a substantial portion of this season. I think he's a talented B-level receiver, a good number 2. And on the Patriots team, I think he's got a great chance to thrive. Like I said, they'll throw it deep. They'll take shots at him. He's a mid-range guy. No Gronk, no tight end.
Are you picking up Sanu?
I wish I could. I would pick him up.
What's up with this Tyreek Hill trade, man? I thought we were going to talk about something. I was waiting to see some type of my
homeboy, Crybaby Mahomes, said that he might be week to week. So, I mean, if he's coming back.
Are you listening to players? They never know. They always lie.
Let me see what happens. And also, I won the league this week. So, suddenly desperation has been staved off for at least one more week. Thank heavens. No thanks to Melvin Gordon, but we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute.
I mean, he had All right.
There was a moment in this game that was fantastic for me, which was when Devontae Freeman, who I needed in a league, decided he was going to throw some punches at Aaron Donald.
I loved watching Donald pick Freeman up like that.
That moment, it reminded me of Darth Vader picking up the general in Star Wars. And the first one, he just picks him up right off the ground. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what it looked like. You see Devontae's feet flopping underneath him. I said, Aaron Donald just picked up this grown man. Like, it was nuts.
And he wasn't even mad. He was like, man, calm down, kid. Devontae was like, throwing punches.
Is Devontae done as an NFL running back?
No. The Falcons' O-line is garbage.
That team, do you see them winning a game again?
Yeah, they're going to beat someone.
Tampa?
Put it like this. If Devontae Freeman got traded to the Houston Texans, watch out.
If Devontae Freeman was on the Houston Texans. So you think he's still a good runner. You just think that he just can't get it.
Yeah.
Can't get it.
They have nowhere to go. Yeah, that's what I think.
I mean, I'm looking at this team. I'm not certain if they can win another game, especially if Matt Schaub, who I thought was 40, 50. I'm stunned he's in NFL.
I am honestly, when they said Matt Schaub, I said, wait, not the Matt Schaub.
We all said that.
He's been bald head since forever.
Yeah.
Balding Matt Schaub?
Let me ask you this. I'm going to name some games. I want you to tell me which game you like Atlanta to win going forward. Next week, Seattle.
Mm-mm.
Then a bye. At New Orleans.
No.
At Carolina.
No.
Tampa Bay.
Where?
At home. At home at Tampa.
I like it.
Okay. Home to New Orleans. Thursday night.
No.
Home to Carolina.
No.
At San Francisco.
No.
Then Jacksonville.
Yes.
Man,
two games.
So they have a chance for two. And if
No. They have a chance to beat a rival. Rivalry games are always tough. So
we'll see. That team's in trouble though. It might be time to tank for Tua. I might be getting ready to go there. Send Matt Ryan to Chicago.
They can't all get to it. And Tua's injured, right?
Hey, don't even worry about that. He don't need to be healthy till next September.
Oh, my God.
Don't worry about that.
People get re-injuries all the time.
Next game, Minshew Mania, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Why are you so excited about this guy?
I like because he made Sharknado a thing. That's why. Because he's
Oh.
not afraid to throw. It's the first time I've seen a quarterback in Jacksonville that's not afraid to throw since David Garrard. That's why.
Nick Foles wasn't afraid.
Yeah, that one pass.
And he showed he wasn't afraid.
Yeah, he showed. And look what it cost him. Minshew's exciting. He's fun. He's unorthodox to some degree. He looks like he's a little reckless out there, but he's entertaining. And I've enjoyed that. And he gave us a good Thursday night game against the Tennessee Titans when he threw those 2 touchdowns early. It was just
Did you watch that game?
I did. Yeah. Yeah, I did it for the fans. It was because D.D. Westbrook dropped a touchdown that game. I saw it right in his hands. It was a little wet, and he slobbered on it and spit it up. Easy.
I told you I don't like King DDD.
You did say that, and you were wrong. And
I don't like him. What do you mean I'm wrong?
he had a great day.
I said I don't like him.
Oh, well, he still had a good day.
I don't. Yeah, broken clock is right 2 times a day. You know.
True. We both picked Jaguars to win. Congrats to us.
Uh-huh.
I took Cincy to cover the 4. I got to get the 4.5. You also took Cincy with the 4.5. We were both wrong on this accord. Cincinnati's terrible.
It wasn't it close?
It was a close game. Unfortunately,
You know
it was
what,
a close
Andy?
game.
This is Andy's fault for throwing those pick sixes.
I mean,
Or 1 pick six.
yeah, it was a close 27-17, but it was a little bit closer than that before the pick six. So they had a chance. And then back-to-back interceptions always feels good when you've got the Jaguar defense.
Andy Dalton, I don't hate him as much as Jameis, but he gets the same treatment inside. Why is he still an NFL
I
quarterback?
was like, hold on. He's been in the NFL much longer
Yeah,
than Jameis.
why is he still starting?
Because Marvin Lewis was the worst coach in football.
Marvin Lewis is no longer his head coach.
They need to tank a few. They've got too much talent to tank far enough to get a good quarterback, and there hasn't been anyone worth
you better
it.
get on somewhere.
Cincinnati's awful. Joe Mixon.
He got a touchdown.
And then got pulled. He had more points fantasy-wise than he had yards. All right, he had 4 yards in this game, if I'm not mistaken. It was terrible.
Yeah, he also can't run like Devontae Freeman because of the O-line.
I believe in Joe Mixon, though. I don't know if I believe in Devontae's ability
I
anymore.
believe in Devontae Freeman.
Joe Mixon going forward, where is he? What would you rank him as a fantasy back going forward? He's
Flex.
Flex at best? Like, when do you feel confident putting him out there in a matchup?
I thought about doing it this week. I really thought long and hard and didn't. But even if I did, I got, 7 points?
I mean, again, depending on the league. 8
Right.
in the
8,
PPR. And that's because it was a touchdown. He
Right.
wasn't even out there at the end of the game. It was Gio.
Exactly. So, I don't know.
Next week, they're at the Rams.
Oh, yeah.
You like him there?
What?
You like Joe Mixon at the Rams?
Yes.
Bye. Then home to Baltimore. You like that?
No.
At Oakland.
Yes.
Home to Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Jets.
Yes.
At Cleveland.
Yes.
New England.
No.
And then Miami.
Yes.
So you got a few matchups there that you like.
I do.
I've liked a few before this, and it just hasn't worked out. So that O-line is since he's
No,
terrible.
it may not work out.
And A.J. Green's returning eventually.
He is?
Eventually.
He ain't coming back. He's getting paid, and he's like, I ain't coming back.
I don't want to be part. Don't put my name on.
He'll
the
say,
season.
yeah, I'm working, but he ain't coming back.
Yeah, you might be right. Next game, which is a game that has a team that I'm getting more and more favorable
San Fran?
opinion of. No, Buffalo, Miami. I'm liking Buffalo more and more. We both picked Buffalo to win and Miami to cover. Good job, Fitzmagic. You pulled it out.
I like Fitz, and I told you start Devontae Parker again.
I said start Preston Williams. Let the record show. I said start Preston Williams. You said start Devontae Parker. Devontae went 5 for 55 and 1. Preston 6 for 82.
Yeah.
Both had very good games.
Yeah.
When Fitzpatrick comes in, he throws the rock.
Right.
That much you know.
The second it's Rosen, I'm no longer a fan of Parker.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. I told you Josh Allen would have a top 8 week for a quarterback. He was number 8 on the week.
Was he really?
Yes.
He made top 8?
Yes. And then Brady played Monday night. And he got bumped to
there
number 9.
we go. I want that check. That's another W, baby.
To be fair,
that is fair.
there were a couple quarterbacks in there that had no business. The Mitchell Trubisky's had no business.
Happen, man.
Ryan Tannehill had no
always
business.
happens.
And there were like 3 quarterbacks that were unowned. Okay, that ended up in. I should have been top 8 of owned quarterbacks.
Well, I wouldn't have taken the bet.
Unbelievable. Josh Allen had a good game. 2
He did.
touchdowns, 30 yards rushing. I think like 250 passing. It was a good game. I said he would rush for 1,000. It was only 32, and pass for 2 is good. Devin Singletary.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I told you I
was
didn't like
this?
it.
It was awful. It was awful in every sense of the
I
word.
didn't like it.
He just didn't show up. He didn't show up whatsoever, and it's frustrating. He only played on 39% of the snaps this game. It was just, and I get it was his first game back. Maybe they're easing him back into it. But
they didn't need him out there being a workhorse.
7 attempts for 26 yards.
Okay, yeah, that's not bad.
Man, come on, Devin. Don't tease us like that. We know he's talented. We know he's a good player. And it just didn't happen. And
maybe next week, man.
Maybe.
I'll look into it.
The worst part about this game is I started Buffalo's defense over San Francisco. I had to make that decision the night before. Had I checked weather reports the morning of and seen that hurricane,
you should
San Fran was coming through Washington.
This is the problem for you not watching the games early in the morning.
Right. I was up early enough to see what was happening as far as like player action. I just didn't register. I'm like, well, Buffalo's, they'll be fine.
I'm in
sure
B-dubs. I look at the screen. I said, oh, sloppy game.
Yeah,
I
would have made the switch
instantly.
It was the right decision. I'm full for doing that. Is Buffalo's defense not quite what we thought they were going forward?
Who is this we?
You and I. They were a good defense.
They have been a good defense. Beating the table for Buffalo's
Next
defense.
week, Philadelphia. Any confidence in them? At home against Philadelphia.
Man, I don't know with Carson right now. He also burned me this week.
Home to Washington. Home at Cleveland. At Miami. I mean, it's just, I don't think they're that team that we might have thought they were.
Quit this we. Who is this
you
we?
And I. You and I.
I do not believe in Buffalo.
Unbelievable. How quickly
I do not believe in Buffalo.
Turn tail and run.
I do not.
Next game, Chargers, Tennessee. We took Chargers across the board. I remember specifically saying before this game started, I said the Chargers should quit, and they were bums. That's my exact words. The San Diego Chargers should quit because they're bums. I picked them to win only because Ryan Tannehill was on the other side, and I just dislike him. This game was everything I thought it would be, which is an absolute, chaotic mess. Melvin Gordon single-handedly cost me. Get in the end zone. Don't cry on the bench. Don't cry for me, Argentina. I need you to get in the end zone and hold the ball. And I want to be mad at him, but the dang offensive line for the Chargers is atrocious.
I
thought it was me out there blocking.
Fumble the ball.
No excuse to fumble.
Twice?
No excuse to fumble. But I don't care if you fumble after you break the goal line. A lot of guys drop the ball after the goal line. Hopkins dropped it after the goal line.
Yeah, but you got to cross the goal line.
That O-line's got to make a push. Give me a yard.
Oh, my God.
Give me 6 inches.
He could have leaped. He could have done something.
Man, it was terrible. Keenan Allen's value has plummeted to me.
I told you I don't like Keenan.
I love Keenan. There's too many mouths to feed. Austin Eckler's now the slot receiver. Hunter Henry is taking up all the underneath routes that used to go to Keenan, and that's what's hurting him. Those 9 for 90 games for Hunter Henry should have been going to Keenan. I'm selling Keenan. I don't think this goes anywhere from here. The offensive line is hurt. Keenan had 4 for 61.
Now. You're not going to get anything for him.
He has name value still now. He has name value. He went 4 for 61. I think that's enough that you can still get something from him.
If you think so, man, I don't know.
I mean, again, I think he's a talented player, but I just don't see the opportunities coming.
Of course he's talented. Mike Williams is talented.
Next game at Chicago.
No.
Then home to Green Bay.
Yes.
Then at Oakland, Thursday night. Home to Kansas City.
Yes.
Then a bye week. Then at Denver. Playoff time comes at Jacksonville, home to Minnesota, and then Oakland. Great matchups all around. Like, there's no game there that a talented receiver couldn't perform. But he's just not getting targets. He's just not getting the targets. I mean, the last games he's played, at Tennessee, he should have done better. Home to Pittsburgh, he should have done better. He had 5 points. Home to Denver, he should have done better. 5 points. At Miami, 9 points. Like, he's just not performing anywhere near what he was doing when he dropped 50.
You already said, man, they have too many mouths to feed.
Yeah, and if Eckler's going to be the new slot receiver.
I like Eckler.
I mean, well, what do you do with him? You start him every week, of course.
I never start him. I never play him. I never draft him.
If you have Austin Eckler on your team, you would start him every week.
He's
an RB2.
But I'm talking about Keenan Allen.
Is he better than James White?
Who?
Austin Eckler.
At fantasy, yes.
All right. At real life?
No, I like James White.
All right. Would you say they're comparable? They're the same player. Except
yes,
James White has 19 backs to compete with.
I think Austin actually runs a little stronger than James White. I see Austin breaking tackles. I don't really see James White breaking ankles, but not tackles from James White.
I remember him scoring a Super Bowl winning touchdown on Atlanta. That's why their fans have to be so upset.
I think yeah, but I mean,
just of course James White scored on you. That's what you get, Atlanta. Oh my gosh. Tennessee Titans.
Tighten up.
I told you that with Ryan Tannehill quarterback, I said watch out for the Tennessee Titan receivers. Somebody is going to have a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is going to play well. I trusted them.
I recall.
Corey Davis, 6 for 60 and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
A.J. Brown, 6 for 64.
Mm-hmm.
I said one of them would be a top 24 receiver. Corey Davis ended up being number 9. This is what happens when you take that bum Mariota out from behind center. This is like the upgrade from Alex Smith to Patrick Mahomes.
Whoa, that's a big jump.
Yeah. If this was like 1930s.
You know
like
what
that's
it is?
the caliber
The
upgrade.
The caliber upgrade is from Cam Newton to Cal Island.
You know,
that is the upgrade. That is comparable.
There's some rumors. As you know, this is also Rumor Central. One Last Take is where you go for the last take on rumors.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some chatter
Mm-hmm.
that Cam Newton might be a target for the Chicago Bears. How would you like that?
Me personally, as a fan,
Yeah, as a fan. Cam
I like it because I hate
replacing-
Mitchell.
There it is.
I hate Mitchell Trubisky.
Does he bring a toughness that Chicago hasn't had at quarterback? Is he the best quarterback in the history of Chicago? The first moment he steps foot.
Stop it. But he would bring
I
a
need
little
someone
swag
better.
to the offense.
They have never had a good quarterback.
Cam is not a good quarterback.
MVP? A Super Bowl?
If
appearing?
Cam is a running guy who can pass.
It's so disrespectful.
He is.
Cam.
If
It's
Sanu,
so disrespectful.
if they let Sanu strap up and be a quarterback, that's what he'd be. That's what
Unbelievable.
Sanu would look like. He would look just like Cam Newton.
Well, speaking of Cam Newton, who was amazing with his legs early before he started taking punishment.
That's the only way he's been good.
Another quarterback that's been good with his legs,
Mitchell Trubisky.
Lamar Jackson.
Oh, are we
Seattle.
moving on?
We're moving on. I have nothing else to say about Tennessee. I don't care about them.
What were the picks in this?
In the Seattle?
This Ravens Seattle. Yeah.
Seattle across the board.
Damn.
Yeah. In this game, I predicted Russell Wilson would throw his first interception, and he did.
To my boy Marcus.
And it was
Not my boy Joe.
Yeah, it was the worst pass I've seen Russell make, perhaps, in his life.
That was silly.
And I know people will go, "What about the Super Bowl pass?" That was a good pass. Bad route. The defender made a good play. I'm not going to take anything away.
No, that
from
was the
defender.
worst pass in his career because it was a Super Bowl title.
No, the pass was fine. It was where it was supposed to be.
Pass, decision, they're
The
all
receive-
the same. It's all within the same.
They shouldn't have passed. When they called the pass, he threw it on the
Russell,
money.
being the quarterback he is, has the option to check to a run.
He's a loyal team player. Again, he threw what he's supposed. Everybody on that play did what they're supposed to, except
Russell.
the receiver.
Except Russell.
No, except the receiver.
The pass wasn't there.
And can you give credit to the defender?
Malcolm Butler? Of course. He jumped it.
Do you blame the quarterback when Dion picks it off? It's like sometimes the guys make a good play.
No, because Malcolm Butler is not Deion Sanders.
I know, but I'm saying sometimes you can make a good play and the defender can just make a better one.
Yeah, but Russell made a bad decision.
You heard Malcolm Butler say that Belichick had coached them on that route.
On that route. They knew.
And
They were
came
prepared.
Up,
Exactly.
That's good coaching. That's
It
good
is.
defense.
It's Belichick. Of course it's good coaching.
Hello. Speaking
Run
of
the
good
ball.
Speaking of good coaching by Belichick, we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute.
Gosh.
Seattle versus the Ravens. What's your take?
Why can't they stop Lamar? Teams know he's running, and they can't stop it. Is blocking really that good for the O-line?
Didn't look great. I mean, he was running because there was pressure. Like, he doesn't run just to run necessarily.
It was like a 4th and 4 or something like that, and it was just a QB run.
Well, he's faster than everyone.
But he didn't go on the outsides. He went through the tackles.
Yeah, but he's faster than everyone. Like when the receivers go out to pass.
My take is your boy Russell was exposed, man.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, just so
Exposed,
quick to yell
man.
exposed.
That's
Nowhere
what
near
happened.
exposed.
That's hey man, you said what is your take? My take is Russell was exposed.
Unbelievable. It was a bad. Well, that's a bad take. That's 100%
It's
a
my
bad take.
take.
Everyone is given a bad opportunity.
What's your take?
I think the Ravens showed up this game. I think the Ravens showed
So
up
the
to play.
Seahawks did not,
The Seahawks did not show up nearly well enough this game.
obviously.
It was a close game. Now, the Ravens are a good team. They're 5-2. They're a very good team. And Lamar Jackson is starting to come into his
What
own.
do you mean? The Ravens lost to the third-string quarterback of the Steelers.
Mm-hmm. No. They beat the Steelers.
Did they beat them? I thought
Yeah.
they lost that game.
No, they went into overtime. They went into overtime. But it was a good. Now you're going to make me fact check myself.
I don't trust you anymore.
Yeah, they won 26-23. It went to overtime.
Oh, yeah, Tuck.
It shouldn't have gone into overtime. They lost to Kansas City and they lost to Cleveland when Nick Chubb went for 2 bills on the ground. But that's not Lamar's fault. So,
200.
but yeah, no, Lamar Jackson, I feel like I said maybe an episode or two ago that there's something that he still hasn't found.
I don't know what you mean by that.
It feels like he's kind of coming into that thing. Like he honestly is Michael Vick at this point.
Stop calling
He
this
is
man
honestly,
Michael Vick.
He's with his legs. He's a better passer than Michael Vick. has better receivers than Michael
His
Vick.
arm is
for
not
sure.
better than Vic's.
It's more accurate. Vic
Is it really?
Yeah, it's more accurate than Michael Vick.
I remember Vic having receivers that could not catch the ball.
You gonna blame Algie Crumpler?
I could not stand Algie and all those other bums out there.
Here's what they do know. I think they have the stats on it. Lamar Jackson is the most accurate quarterback at age 21 in the history of the NFL.
I don't care what these little
That is
dumps.
a fact.
So what?
The dumps saved Brady because he hasn't thrown a pass deep, it seems like, in 20 years.
You know what? You're
Dump-
right.
dump-
Brady, but he laid a dime to Philip Dorsett yesterday.
It was very good. I've seen Lamar lay dimes to Hollywood Brown.
Nah.
But use what you got in front
Not
of you.
dimes.
Mark Ingram, going forward, what is he? What's his value?
Do you remember when we laughed at that guy who drafted Mark Ingram was a second-round pick or something like that?
Yeah.
I was laughing just to give him a hard time. But deep down I was thinking that may have been a reach. What I think now, I made a mistake not picking Mark Ingram in the first round.
Mark in the first round. I had to. That took a second to process.
If I had pick 11
Right.
and I picked Mark Ingram in the first round, what's wrong with that?
He only had 6 points.
Yeah,
yesterday.
this game, but I mean,
He's played well. But
Exactly.
he's also had bad games. In a PPR league,
hasn't?
I'll give you his numbers. PPR league 24,
standard.
9,
I'm talking about standard.
38, 7, 13, 16.
38.
It was a 3-touchdown game against Kansas City.
So tell me that's not saving your day.
Well,
Who was your first pick?
Le'Veon Bell.
Exactly. Who's more points
Well, this week, Le'Veon.
overall?
Irrelevant. Here's
It
what
is not irrelevant.
It is
That's what I'm saying. You picked
Name
Le'Veon.
value.
You could have picked Mark Ingram.
You know what?
You would be better off.
Who has more name value right now? Who has a larger trade prize right
name
now?
brand. Forget the name brands. Who is producing better?
Le'Veon this week.
Mar-
And to be fair,
On the season.
Le'Veon hasn't had a quarterback for about 3 weeks.
I don't. We were gonna get to your boy.
Oh, we're going to get to him. We're going
We
to
gonna
get
get
to
to
him.
your boy
Let me get to
Darnold.
him, man. Let me finish off this game, Seattle. Dangerous. He had a bad game. The pick six, again, it was the worst throw I've seen him make in my career. It was a bad decision.
Second worst.
It was falling backwards. It was soft to the outside. It was an un-Russell-like throw. I'm not going to hold that against him. Guys make bad decisions. He still fought through it. Chris Carson's still running well. They're still giving him a ton of work, which has got to be motivating.
They love
Rashad Penny, I think pick him up.
Why? They
If
didn't. They
something
started
happens
CJ
to Chris,
Procise.
if something happens to Chris Carson, I feel like they would go to Rashad Penny. I have a gut feeling that they would go to him. That's just.
Man, let's say it about your gut feeling.
I'm just saying, if you pick him up, Chris
that
Carson
man was a healthy scratch.
Tyler Lockett, a good touchdown.
Of course.
That's what he does.
Of course.
It's a fantastic,
And
good
is
job.
he a virgin?
Is Tyler Lockett? Might be.
I think I heard he's a virgin.
Maybe. Hey, stay that way. Keep catching them touchdowns. So was Mike Tyson when he was world champ. Then he messed with one woman. Boom, busted Douglas. I don't want to say it's a coincidence or causality. Just it's something.
It is a coincidence.
Well, all I know is he wasn't champ anymore. Tyler, keep catching them passes. Russell Wilson was celebrate till he and Sierra married.
Yeah, now he's throwing pick sixes to Marcus
Don't
Peters.
you dare! Don't you disrespect
You know
Sierra
what,
like
Russell? You know what? We should move on.
Okay,
Let's stay on topic.
Congrats to the Ravens. They played well.
Mm-hmm.
They went into Seattle and won. I think there was something I heard as the first AFC team to go into Seattle and win.
What? Since when?
Since Russell's been quarterback. I'd have to fact check. I feel like I heard that on the broadcast, and I just kind of glazed over it because I was too apoplectic over Russell Wilson's performance to care about the team stats at that moment. But certainly something to consider. Chicago, New Orleans. I told you it would be a snooze fest. I told you I didn't care.
You were wrong, by the way.
Well,
it was not a snooze fest.
Depends on which team you were supporting. Because the Chicago Bears were trash.
There were points.
There were surprisingly a large number of points.
Mm-hmm.
I said Teddy Bridgewater would get exposed.
You were wrong again.
I was wrong again. I have said that there's no way this team's going to survive without Drew Brees.
And without Kamara. What?
Latavius Murray. I thought that was Kamara. You just look at New Orleans running back. Hey, what do you have? 117, 5 catches, like 31
On the road
and 2.
against the Bears, I know we didn't pick right.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I apologize. I want to go back because I wrote this note down and I wanted to make sure that I said it about the Seattle Ravens game. I said in the last episode Russell would throw his first pick this game. Mm-hmm. You said Lamar Jackson would get exposed this game.
Yeah.
What
were his yards? What did he do?
I mean,
because he ran the ball.
Oh yeah.
So
he
what?
ran,
but did he?
I mean, I'm just saying. You promised an exposure.
I didn't promise. I said it. I didn't promise. I didn't beat the table. With it.
He had 143 yards passing and 116 yards rushing with a touchdown.
Yeah. So nothing much from him. He was not exposed. He was normal Lamar.
Okay. Normal Lamar is 110. He's on pace for over 1,000. Forget it. Chicago, New Orleans. I thought the Bears were bad. Their points and yardage and stuff in garbage time.
Wait, what did we do? What did we do?
Well, we both took Chicago to win and Chicago to cover the 4 points. It was a bad week for Chicago.
It's a bad week for me.
This is 2 weeks in a row that I expected Chicago's defense to show up.
We need to
once
stop that.
in London, once at home. The Chicago Bear D is dead.
It's not dead.
The Chicago Bear defense is deceased.
Trubisky needs to go bye-bye, and they need an offense so the defense can rest.
When they're on the field, they're getting eaten alive. Michael Thomas is the only receiver. In fact, I said I could not see the Bears and that vaunted defense letting one receiver beat them. Michael Thomas had 9 for 131.
And Josh Hill had a touchdown, and
Michael Thomas had 9 for 130. They literally let one receiver constantly beat him. He'd be double teamed, and then he'd be open. Like, come on. Come on, Chicago. What are you doing? You're killing us out there.
they're getting beat. It happens.
And you said you like David Montgomery.
What? When did I say that?
You like David Montgomery. Thought he might get a touchdown.
Oh, yeah. I thought they would run the ball.
Hard to do that when you're that far behind. It's just,
I mean, bad week, man.
you
That's
also
all
hated Allen Robinson. Who?
I said
Allen
who.
Robinson?
That's not hate.
Who?
I said who. He doesn't matter. He got a garbage touchdown. Come on.
It was garbage time.
Come on. Garbage points. I can still hate the man.
Is there a quarterback controversy in New Orleans?
What?
Is there quarterback
No,
controversy?
man. There's no controversy. The controversy is Mitchell Trubisky with the Bears taking Mitchell over my homeboys and Watson. That was a mistake.
That will forever haunt that franchise.
A mistake.
The Saints' next game is home to Arizona.
I
Then a
ain't down
bye.
them. I ain't down them no more. Go ahead.
Would you have Drew Brees or Kamara play that game?
No.
You'd have rested both of them against Arizona.
Might as well. Yeah. You just beat the Bears?
Right.
Yes.
So to be fair, Arizona just beat the Giants, so let's not poo-poo them.
Poo-pooing the Cardinals.
All right. Well, let's see what happens with the Saints. I'm hearing that
No,
Drew Brees might
What's
be
your
ready.
take? What's your take?
If I'm them, I'm starting them. Put them back out there. I want to get a game under their belt before they go on a bye week. I don't want just practice for Drew. And
Breeze.
Kamara can wait because he's been out.
Breeze has been in this league for too long. He doesn't need to be rushed.
Last time I saw him throw a pass that mattered, it was a pick in the playoffs at home in overtime. So maybe he doesn't have that gut check feeling anymore. I need to make sure he's there. That's all I'm saying.
He has plenty of gut. No need to check.
Mm-hmm. Here's a game we're excited for. Eagles, Cowboys.
Fly, Eagles, fly. I already told you. I made this selection off pure hate. I already said it. I said the Cowboys may win. I don't care. It's off pure hatred. And when I turned on that supposed to be entertainment game, what the Carson? What the heck? What the? I mean, again, in my one league, people are laughing at me. I know they are. I had Carson Wentz, Will Fuller, Adam Thielen, Evan Ingram.
Good game.
Did you hear those names?
Good game. You got a touchdown.
Evan Ingram?
No, Thielen. You got a touchdown.
Yeah. But did you hear the rest of the lineup?
That's a bad week.
Bears defense.
I mean, what did you put up? Like 25 points?
I think I put up like 40 points. I forgot who my running back is because it didn't matter.
The beauty of a week like this.
Devontae Adams in the league. I'm sorry. Carry on.
Terrible. The beauty of a week like that is that you get all the bad weeks at one time. It's rare the guys have back-to-back bad weeks without just being bad players. They all had bad weeks. They won't all have bad weeks again. And you don't have to worry about somebody suddenly tanking. So maybe they just do it. If I could promise my players would always have their bad week on the same week, one time per year, I'll take an L.
It was still hurtful.
It sucks because it kills your Sunday.
Now, we'll talk about it later. I don't look at my fantasy matchup. I never look at the scores.
Right.
But I know who I have. And I'm looking at the TVs and I'm saying, I don't have any points.
Right. It was awful. The Cowboys, I told you Zeke would have over 120 scrimmage. He did. Just ate him alive.
I said over.
Yeah. I'm just letting you know. I said it first. You
Yeah.
just concur,
and
concur
you
with
said
what I
over under. I said over.
I said he had to be involved. I said the Eagles were teetering on a razor's edge from being a disaster. This team is now officially a disaster. They can't run. They can't throw. Nelson Aguilar is hot dogging it out there, not diving at catches.
Garbage, man.
Carson Wentz doesn't have that it factor right now.
I don't know what is wrong with him.
The team of the Philadelphia Eagles is in a bad spot. I may not pick them to win a game for quite a while.
Who are they playing next week?
I'd have to quickly do a search and see because you know what I'm not checking for? The Eagles' schedule half the time is what it seems like. Next week at Buffalo.
Eagles get a victory, baby.
No, I like Buffalo. Josh Allen, get it done. Then home to Chicago.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
So, I mean, I think this is where they fall. That's
I'm
what
sticking with pure hate. I hate Mitchell. I've always hated him.
We got one game left. 3 minutes to knock it out. Oh, also, by the way, I hate Dak Prescott. Hand the ball off to Zeke at the goal line.
The boy was balling. What are you talking about?
I know. I had Zeke going against Dak, and he could have handed it off once. He'd
he
play
scrambled,
action
yeah,
out,
he ran in
and the
there,
next time, pitch it to Zeke. He was running right there next to you.
Yeah,
Don't
but
get
he wasn't
greedy.
open. He wasn't. He might have get caught.
Make the pitch.
No.
Just don't be so greedy, Dak. It
Let's
disgusted
move
me.
on to that Monday night
game. I said
butt whooping.
you had the New England to win.
No.
Jets to cover.
You convinced. I didn't have Jets to cover.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
Are you serious?
You did that. And
Are you kidding me?
And I took the Jets to win and the Jets to cover. Sam Darnold was the most disgusting player I've seen in a very, very long time. It was embarrassing. It was awful. I will never refer to him in the same breath as Aaron Rodgers again.
You should not.
I will never refer to him in any sense of
You
being
should not.
Darnold Schwarzenegger.
Told you.
There's nothing to
Garbage.
talk about this game. Le'Veon was good, but in the end, we each had 7 games, picked 1. I picked 6 spreads. You picked 4.
So I lost.
You lost, which officially makes you a loser, which officially makes this the end of the podcast. It was a great day for me, as far as I'm concerned.
It's about time I lose. You were due. You were long due.
I was long due. I told you I'd get the hang of it. It was a good week 7 to watch. Horrible fantasy. Just
What are you telling?
I hate the Patriots.
And I hate Trubisky.